Studies have shown that the quality of being authentic is crucial for being an effective leader. It is also closely related to your level of well-being and psychological resilience when it comes to your day-to-day activity. And so when thinking about authenticity, it's not just about being real and being your honest self. It really links to how you deliver and behave in a bigger, badder and bolder world, so to speak. And so what I'm going to do today is break down the 3 different sub-tiers of authenticity in order to help you assess how authentic you are and become even more authentic as an individual. Now, this is being taken from a study that was done that developed what is known as the authenticity scale, and it breaks down 3 main different parts of authenticity. The first thing is authentic living, the second being accepting external influences, and the third being self-alienation. I'm going to break down each one in order for you to get a stronger idea. So the first one being authentic living. What is authentic living? Essentially, this comes down to how honest are you to yourself and to other people. If you've ever watched any of my YouTube lives, or if I've partnered or collaborated with other people, you'll hear I'm talking about values all the time. Values being the things that are deemed as truly important to you as a person. And so with this in mind, authentic living is really staying true to your word, staying true to your bond, making your word your bond. And what you say and do is reflected in your behaviors. And so this is why values become really important, because values are what you believe to be true, or at least important, should I say. And that translates into your behaviors. And so your values and your behaviors should be one in many respects. So think to yourself, if you say you are going to do something, or if you feel a certain way, is that being translated into what is known as authentic living? Now, of course, there is a level of cognitive dissonance that occurs when we aren't necessarily close to this version of ourselves that feels authentic. And so usually this level of authenticity is felt based on this whole idea of how it feels. So we're not just talking about feelings for feeling's sake, but you can usually sense, should we say, when something doesn't feel original, true, or honest. So when it comes to authentic living, think about those different aspects. Now, there is this idea in psychology that highlights that although it's important for you to adopt authentic living, in order for you to really maneuver within society, there has to be a degree of how that authenticity is expressed. And so it's understanding that, yes, be your authentic self, but understand how to communicate that authenticity in a way that enables you to work within society. I've had some people, I remember when I did a talk at a consulting firm, and one of the people were like, you can't always be yourself all the time. And I argued, yes, you can. It just depends on how you express or communicate that. And some may argue that's not necessarily authenticity. But the point being made here is that as long as your values are aligned to what you do and you're not compromising those things, then you can express and communicate things in terms of what makes sense for the environment that you're in. The next thing I want to talk about is accepting external influences. For someone who is a leader, for someone who is a high achiever, there has to be a degree of not being influenced heavily by external influences because they remain true to themselves. People have always asked me, how do you become more resilient? How do you withstand hard times? How do you overcome these challenges? And I always go back to my coach training, which basically says in adversity, in places of complexity and ambiguity, the thing that you need to focus on is your values. What remains true to you in your mind's eye? What is the most important thing to you? And so using that as your navigation system of making decisions is really important. So being able to resist external influences or know when to lean into them when it makes sense aligned to your values is what you need to be cognizant of. And so understanding this is key for being an authentic individual. In addition to that, society may make us feel like we need to fit in. We need to adhere to certain social norms and behaviors, etc., etc. But these are social norms. What is your norm? What makes sense for you as a person? This is why making sure that you look through your different experiences and highlight your lessons learned and think about what is important to you helps you realize what you should be focusing on. So think about this deeply, think about this intently, and think about Do you easily get persuaded or distracted by other individuals or things that happen in your environment? Social media is a great example. Social media has been developed in such a way where the algorithm aims to distract you enough to gain attention. And so with that in mind, we live in an attention economy. And so you have to think to yourself, am I focusing on things? Am I getting distracted by the right thing, so to speak? So really think about your goals, your values, and any routines that help you stay aligned to those specific values. Now, as I stated before, authenticity is closely linked to leadership potential and high achievement. So if you're looking to understand how authentic you are as a high achiever or leader, then check the link below because I've put together a 60-question quiz that will enable you to understand how effective you are as a high achiever. So again, it's free to take. Make sure you click the link below to find out more information. In addition to this, I'd love to know, what does it mean to be authentic to you? Comment below. The other arm of authenticity is this idea of self-alienation. Do you alienate yourself? Do you isolate yourself? Do you feel like you're not comfortable within your skin? A lot of us have gone through traumatic experiences. A lot of us have stuff we haven't been able to properly overcome through therapy or counseling or whatever it may be. And so it doesn't allow us to really respect or value our self-worth. Maybe there are things that have happened through introjections from significant people such as our siblings or parents or teachers, where they have said that we're not good enough or we shouldn't bother to focus on X or whatever it may be. All these things affect our scripts and schemas, the way we think about life. And so if you're in this situation, think to yourself, are there any activities that I can do to help me overcome this level of self-alienation? Maybe this is exercise. Maybe this is taking up a new hobby. Maybe this is making sure that you pay for counseling. Maybe this is getting a coach. Maybe this is having someone you can talk to and express to. Maybe this is journaling. Whatever it may be, find something that enables you to be present and really help you diagnose what has caused you to be this way and how you can overcome it. Again, we don't want to focus on the negatives, but we need to understand what the triggers and cues, the routines are that elicit these different behaviors that cause you to self-alienate. And so with that in mind, that gives you a good idea of whether you are being more authentic to self or not. The more authentic you are, the less likely you are to self-alienate yourself. And again, this is also expressed with the different relationships that you uphold with different people. So again, authenticity is key and crucial to your level of resilience, your achievement, and how you act as a leader. Again, this really relates to how people respond to you as well, because people can sense BS. If they don't think you're being yourself in some way, shape, and form, then they're going to call BS. And so with that in mind, aim to focus on authenticity. When I look at the model that I use to help my coaching clients or people who may jump onto my program, authenticity, what I call audacious authenticity, is at the center of the achievement in order for you to become successful in life, whatever that means to you. And so really lean into this space of being your true self, whatever that means. Now, again, if you want to understand how authentic you are as a high achiever or leader, then make sure to check out my 60-question quiz that you can take to find out more information and get a detailed report to understand yourself much better. Now, again, if you want to learn more about emotional intelligence, career development, or life management, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.